Let's talk about some more Jake Guentzel trade rumors, specifically with the Detroit Red Wings. So Friedman on 32 Thoughts. I don't know that Detroit's interested, but there are a lot of people who see it as a fit. They have a spot on the left side there. It certainly is a positional fit on the team. He, as an Yzerman, does not like term for the veterans. Continuing, if you're going to trade for Guentzel and signing him, you're going to have to sign him for 7 or 8 years. Like, there's just no other way that this is going to happen. And I had a few teams telling me it's not what Yzerman really wants to do. I'll say this, with Stevie Y and with the current team, obviously he's brought in some veterans, but I think in terms of the core, he wants them to be a little bit younger. I think Guentzel's close to that age, but for a 8-year contract, that gets there, right? So I think there's a lot of conversations around Guentzel and just the fit. And I mean, if you think about the scenario where Detroit, I mean, we've talked about a lot of big names around Detroit, but say Detroit keeps DeBrincat long-term, keeps Larkin long-term, and then signs a guy like Jake Guentzel, again, who's 29 years old. So the age is a little higher than those other guys, but I think you have a core to go for it the next 3-4 years, right? So is it 7 or 8 years? Is that better? Does Friedman think that's better? Or is it better to just go for a 4-year deal, 5-year deal, and then evaluate? But these are some trades I saw in Cap Friendly. Maybe if it's Detroit, it's like a package of Johnny Bergeron, another prospect, first, second, Justin Hall in there because, Kyle Dubas, big Justin Hall guy. So maybe that's a possibility. But honestly, fans were all over it. Like, guys, these are different deals. I saw 3 or 4 Detroit fans making the same package. So obviously they're all talking. But I could see something like that. I think Pittsburgh might want another piece, like an intriguing defenseman prospect like Wallander or like... I don't think Detroit's giving up Edmondson in this deal, but if it came with an extension, maybe. I think you'd have to get another piece from Pittsburgh to make it work, but this would be a pretty nice lineup. DeBrincat, Larkin, Kane, Guentzel, Comfort, Raymond, and then that's like a very good third line to have. So you're laughing. Obviously, there's maybe some work to be done in the defense group, but I like Frank Zaravelli's conversation here, and he outlines obviously all the details. 29 years old, 5'11", $6 million cap hit right now. So if Detroit could get him at 50% retained, they don't necessarily need to because they have the space right now. But 52 points in 50 games. He's hurt right now, but he's going to be coming back in March. 6 playoff appearances, 1 Stanley Cup, 5 rounds won. And as you can see, guys, Jake Guentzel is the ultimate playoff performer. 58 points in 58 games. The teams that Frank Saravelli lists are Carolina, Colorado, Detroit, Edmonton, Rangers, Canucks, Golden Knights, just to name a few. And I like the comparables as well. So if you look at the Matt Duchene trade, it was a first-round pick, a conditional first-round pick, and then a couple young players. So if you compare it to Detroit, either 2 first-round picks or a first and second, and then 2 intriguing young players. But again, Guentzel, I would say the stock is definitely higher with him than over Duchene. Horvat got a first, Aatu Ratu, and Viveiros. So I think it's somewhere there, maybe a little bit higher than that. So, for example, I could see a deal where it's like Detroit, first, second, third. Maybe you give up the first and second this year because Detroit wants to go for it for a playoff run. You re-sign Jake Guentzel. You throw in a 3rd-round pick or a 2nd-round pick in 2025. Then Jonathan Bergeron and Wallender's in the deal. That's something I could see. 2 young prospects, 2 or 3 draft picks. Maybe a roster player goes back to Pittsburgh. Something like that. So ultimately, just to wrap this video, if you're looking at these teams, the Rangers have been a conversation. The Canucks have been a conversation. I think this team is to watch out for. The Vegas Golden Knights. If it's not Detroit, as I just discussed, if it's not Colorado, as I just discussed, and it's not Edmonton, I just like some of these Metro teams. I don't see Pittsburgh doing it. Like Dubas just jumped on the job. Does he really want to give Guentzel to Carolina and then Carolina go win a Stanley Cup? I think that'd just be a really bad look. So Colorado, Detroit, Edmonton, all teams I could see it happening. Vegas really interests me because if Mark Stone goes on LTIR for the rest of the season and they have that flexibility again, they can bring in Jake Guentzel, no problem. And, oh my gosh, just think about it. They could also bring back Riley Smith. Imagine Kyle Dubas, the Pittsburgh Penguins, get a deal that they cannot refuse from the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm talking like Brendan Brisson. I'm talking 1st-round pick. I'm talking young roster player, another young prospect. And you bring in Guentzel and Riley Smith with the flexibility that you just got from Mark Stone. I think that's the opportunity for Pittsburgh to really get some younger players. Maybe they even inquire about a guy like Cotter or one of their bottom 6 forwards that could have some potential for Pittsburgh to give them some more depth. And then, hot take, Riley Smith stays on Vegas, but Pittsburgh tries to bring Jake Guentzel back in the offseason. So I think there's a lot of comparables, folks, and a lot of situations that could go down. But I think these are 2 good comparables that Frank Saravelli laid out. And I think between Vegas, Colorado, Detroit, Edmonton, I think those are like a good top 4. I know all the connections with Vancouver, but I don't know, man. I think with all the Pettersson conversations right now and just they already made their big deal for Elias Lindholm, I don't know if I see it. But, hey, clearly Vancouver and Pittsburgh have been having a conversation and talking about it. So I guess anything's possible. So hit that subscribe button, guys. Like, notification bell, all that good stuff. I'll be trying to just pump out the content and get the conversations out there. And yeah, I hope we can talk soon. And yes, I will be live on trade deadline day. So I hope to see all of you there. Subscribe, like, comment, notification bell. Peace.